Our story for today is about Jawaher Hajji, a young lady from Palestinian origins who lives in Las Vegas in the United States of America. On December 23, 2020, Jawaher left her house at around 11:30 a.m. and never returned back. Her case remained a mystery until this very last moment. This is Summer Ibrahim, and welcome to A Narrator's Ride. Jawaher Hajji, who was 27 years old when the incident took place, is a young lady of Palestinian origin. Her father passed away when she was 15, and since she was the eldest, she helped her mother raise her younger siblings. Jawaher was described by her mother as deeply loved by everyone, passionate, ambitious, and incredibly giving and generous. She was so bright that she finished high school ahead of her peers and went on to complete her university studies in economics. Jawaher's family lived in Palestine before relocating to the Emirates and finally settling in the USA through political asylum. On December 23, 2020, Jawaher left her house at around 11:30 a.m. After a few hours passed, she was late and hadn't returned home, which was completely unlike her. The mother says, with the intuition of a mother, "I didn't feel right. This was the first time my daughter was late." She tried calling her multiple times, but it was no use. There was no answer. After that, she reached out to Jawaher's friends, though she didn't have many to begin with. They had no idea where she was. The mother waited until the sun went down, but there was still no sign of Jawaher. Those around her tried to reassure her, saying, "Maybe she went to a friend's house," or "maybe she's upset and doesn't want to talk to anyone." But the mother insisted, "No, this is not Jawaher's habit. If something was bothering her, she would turn to God first and then come straight to me. I'm her mother and her closest friend. She doesn't hide anything from me. I'm telling you, I'm certain Jawaher would never stay away from home unless it was against her will. She is definitely not away by choice, as the laws in America allowed people to report the disappearance of an adult only after 3 days had passed. Her mother had to wait. She says, "I didn't know what to do. My hands were tied. All I could do was wait, hoping to hear the sound of her footsteps as she walked through the door." On December 25th, Jawaher's mother finally filed the police report. At 2 a.m., she received a call from the police who told her they found her daughter's car near one of the mountains and that she had to go there herself to pick it up. She asked them, completely shocked, "Okay, but where is my daughter?" The officer replied coldly, "We don't know. We just found the car and the keys were left right on top of it." He assured her that in the morning, helicopters would go out to scan the area to find her. He asked her to calm down, saying, "We haven't found her yet, just the car. In the morning, the planes will search the area thoroughly, and God willing, we'll find her for you." The mother continues, saying it was pitch black at 2 a.m. She took her other daughter and drove to the address the policeman had given them. The location of the car. The place was terrifying and so dark they couldn't see a thing. According to the law, at least one police officer should have been present at the scene. But when they arrived, they found no one. The car was just sitting there with the keys on top of it, and there wasn't a soul nearby. Inside the car, she found Jawaher's phone and her purse. The mother said, As an ordinary civilian who doesn't really know the laws, I realized that I wasn't supposed to take the car and that the entire area should have been surrounded with warning signs. What if there was a crime? What if there were fingerprints that would get wiped away? There could have been evidence that would be destroyed if the car was moved. In the end, the mother says she took the car and went home. At 5 in the morning, Jawaher's mother gathered about 20 people and went to the area where Jawaher disappeared. They searched the entire place, hoping to find her or at least any clue that could lead to her. They were shouting and calling her name, "Jawaher! Jawaher!" but no one answered us. Some of us searched on foot, others searched using cars. The police who promised to scan the area with helicopters never showed up. As Jawaher's mother called the police to ask them where they are, they simply replied that they don't have helicopters and that the investigator in charge is on vacation. The mountainous area where Jawaher disappeared is actually a construction site belonging to a large company in America. The area is fully covered by surveillance cameras, part of which the front of the mountain is like a park where people usually go hiking. But the specific place where Jawaher's car was found was full of construction workers. She requested to see her daughter's footage, where she got out of the car, left the key on top and walked away. But they told her that the cameras are far from where the car was, so the footage wouldn't be clear. They also told her that the officer who found the car saw the key, phone and bag on top of it, but he himself left the key there and placed the phone and bag inside the car. So it might not have been Jawaher who left those items on top of the car. The mother wondered, if this is a work site, an active construction area, how did they allow Jawaher to enter there when the company states clearly that no car is allowed in the area after 6 p.m.? So how did they leave the car there for 3 days without anyone reporting it? She says every day. She, along with relatives and a group of volunteers, went to the place where Jawaher disappeared and kept searching the entire area. They put in a huge effort, even to the point that she hired special tracking dogs at her own expense. Despite everything she did, they didn't find any trace of Jawaher, to the point that she became certain Jawaher wasn't on the mountain at all. Even if she was dead, they would have found her. But there was absolutely no sign of her. She says it's true the mountain is large and frightening, but it doesn't have dangerous heights. Nothing high enough to seriously harm someone. Even if a person fell from somewhere, they wouldn't get badly hurt. There aren't any steep, dangerous drops. That's why many people used to go to the mountain for hiking. It was very safe, so the possibility that Jawaher fell and got hurt is unlikely. Almost impossible. And even if she had fallen, we would have found her immediately because the mountain is open. When we were up there, we could even see trash bags and debris. Below, everything was visible. Is it possible that a human being wouldn't be seen? Finally, the investigator returned from his vacation. She says when she found out he was back, she immediately called him and told him the mountain is full of cameras and surely there must be footage showing where Jawaher went. The investigator spoke to her in a harsh tone and raised his voice rudely. Then he took Jawaher's phone to check what was on it and told her he would contact her if he found anything. She continues saying the investigator was very cold in handling the case. As a mother who was in pain, she couldn't tolerate this coldness. She says she used to call him daily, but he would ignore her calls. She sent messages and emails, still no use, until finally he responded aggressively, telling her, "Do you think your daughter's case is the only case we have?" She says that about a week after Jawaher disappeared, the police finally took action with their police dogs. The dogs started tracking Jawaher's scent until they suddenly stopped at the large rock. The police then said that Jawaher must have been at that spot or even dead there, and that someone may have taken or carried her from that location. The dog stopped at the rock and didn't move at all, which according to them meant that she reached that point and didn't go anywhere else afterwards. It was all very strange. The police continued searching for 3 days and we were helping them as well, searching alongside them, but we didn't find any trace of Jawaher, not even a single drop of blood. She simply wasn't there. Then she says she was shocked that the police tried to turn the case against her, where they wanted to put her and her children through a lie detector test. As the mother has been living in the States for 27 years, she was well acquainted with the laws and she agreed to the test only if the 20 workers who were present at the site would be tested, just like them. But of course that didn't happen. The police didn't agree. She says after that they started treating me in a rude, nasty and unpleasant way, to the point where they came to our house armed and interrogated each of us individually in police cars. They take each of us into the car for an hour and question us. They were trying by any means to turn the whole thing against us. They wanted to implicate one of my children in their sister's disappearance. So I immediately went and hired a lawyer to get me out of their clutches. I had to get a lawyer because there was no point dealing with them. They refused and insisted on not showing me the CCTV footage. I tried really hard to see it, but it was no use. They wouldn't let me. I kept telling them that someone must have taken my daughter from the mountain, but they kept telling me that Jawaher hadn't left the mountain. To press them on the matter, I told them to bring out the cameras, prove to me that my daughter hadn't left the mountain, and show me the footage, but their refusal only grew. They weren't happy at all, and all I saw from the cameras was a single 10-second clip they put in the news bulletin showing Jawaher walking on the day she disappeared. But that's all they showed me. I really don't know. I don't know why they're doing all of this and what they are afraid of. What's going on? The footage showed just a girl from her back. Even her face can't be seen clearly. 3 months after Jawaher went missing, her mother received a call. When she answered, it was a woman who said something she will never forget for the rest of her life. "You will never see her again!" Then she hung up straight away. Can you imagine the words her mother said? "You will never see her again!" She says her voice was full of hatred and anger. It was obvious she was bitter. She says she couldn't control herself, so she immediately called the police and told them what had happened during the call and gave them the woman's phone number. But they told her that cases like this are common. It's nothing to worry about. Don't make a big deal out of it. I told them, but the woman didn't ask for money or anything. The woman told me straight out, "You won't see your daughter again. What more do you want than that?" And she asked them to trace the number. They can track it. It's an American number. If they ring it for 5 minutes, they'll find it. But they refused, giving the excuse that this would cost more than $50,000, so there's no point in us spending all that money just to track this woman because she rang you and said those things. Jawaher's mother says, "To this day, I keep wondering who this woman is, who she is, who rang me to say I'd never see my daughter again. Is she just someone who called me, or does she really have a hand in Jawaher's disappearance?" She continues, saying that 2 weeks after that call, the investigation team summoned me along with the head of the investigation, who told me that they hadn't found a proper solution to the case and that they were going to close it. So I argued with them, saying, "How can you close a case that's been going on for over 3 months? You haven't even made any effort to solve it." As usual, the head of the investigation treated me badly and shouted at me, saying these exact words: "We don't work for you. We don't actually want to consult you on this matter. We're not here to seek your advice, no way. We're just here to tell you that we're closing the case because there's no evidence that your daughter has gone missing, and we've spent a lot of money on her case and aren't prepared to spend any more." So I argued with them and insisted that my daughter was still in the mountains, and if they had any evidence to the contrary, let them prove to me that my daughter hadn't left the area. She says the head of the investigation told me there's a strong possibility that Jawaher ran away to Mexico, perhaps to start a new life. So I told him, how could she have left America and gone to Mexico when her passport is at home? Even her ID and all of her papers are at home. So there's no way she could have left. Then he looked at me and laughed and said, "Huh, you don't know that people who go to Mexico are smuggled in?" She asked him to refer the case to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI. "Since you lot can't solve it, just hand it over to the FBI then." But he got annoyed and refused. He refused and told her, "I'm not going to refer the case to them because there's no evidence that Jawaher disappeared in a way that would allow us to say it was a crime or that she was abducted. The case will be closed here if it remains unsolved." The mother says she left their office and had no idea what has become of her daughter. One important detail the mother mentioned was that when the investigator first spoke to her, he took Jawaher's mobile phone. He asked her for Jawaher's toothbrush so he could take a DNA sample from it. She says she asked him why, and he told her he needed it in case they found her body. She said, "I told him, if you found Jawaher's body, call me and I will identify her." The investigator told her quite plainly that if they found her as decomposed bones, they wouldn't be able to identify her except through DNA. She says all of this is documented in the conversations between me and him. She said she was certain they knew Jawaher's fate from the start. How did it occur to the investigator that they would find her as bones? How did it occur to him and his team? He hadn't even started investigating. He has only just arrived. Nothing had happened yet. How did he know he'd find her as bones? She says that at that time my brother was sitting next to me. So I screamed as I came in and told him they were going to bring me my daughter's bones. And the mother says, "One of the things I must mention to you is that I hired a private investigator at my own expense to assist the investigation team. But they didn't cooperate with him at all and didn't give him any information until he handed in his resignation and said there is nothing he can do." Before he resigned, he suggested that Jawaher's mother would get in touch with a company that supplies police dogs. These dogs are trained to smell a dead body and identify it. These dogs' job is to track the scent of corpses. The mother says, and of course I did that and agreed with the company that they would take the dogs and go straight to the place where Jawaher disappeared. Any company that has dogs, you make an agreement with them, give them the location and they go and search. And whatever body is there, they bring it out. But when they went there, as soon as the company arrived, the dogs headed straight for that spot, the place where Jawaher went missing. We were shocked that the police stopped them. The police wouldn't let them in and said the place was considered a crime scene, threatening the mother that if she goes against this order, they would take legal action against her. So why wasn't it a crime scene when they allowed the mother to enter and take her daughter's car? The lawyer contacted the mother and told her that since they consider the place a crime scene, why didn't they cordon it off with yellow tape to indicate it's a crime scene? And why are they allowing the workers to continue their work there since it's a crime scene? There are people in the area who are still walking around. If it's a crime scene, that means a crime has been committed. How can the police deny handling the case to the FBI on the grounds that there's no proof it's a crime, and then later preventing the dogs to enter, stating that it's a crime scene? The way the police dealt with the case is far away from transparency and is very suspicious indeed. At one point, Jawaher's mother asked for a change of investigator because he was tactless. So they replaced him with a female investigator who was even worse. She kept on telling Jawaher's mother that she works on over 300 cases, some involving the disappearance of children whom she prioritizes over others. Jawaher's mother said, "You can't just say I'll prioritize this one over that one. You have 300 cases. Solve them all. Treat them all the same. It's not up to you to choose." In September 2021, the investigator called the mother and told her to come to the office. She asked for her DNA because they found bone remains that might belong to Jawaher. The investigator said that they found spinal bones and wanted to be sure it belonged to Jawaher, as there was another family with a missing person in the same area. Jawaher's mother says, "When I went to sign the papers, the investigator said something to me that I can't forget. She said, 'Come on, at least now you know your daughter's fate.' I replied in surprise, 'Didn't you just say there's another person they're looking for in the same place? What makes you so sure these bones belong to Jawaher? Why would you say that to me?' She didn't respond. She just went silent. A week later, they called us and said the bones they found did indeed belong to Jawaher. They found her clothes and her skull, which was detached from her body. The bones were scattered in several places, which is why it took them so long to find them. The person who reported the bones was a mountain climber. He found them in a very rugged area that no one could reach on foot. However, the mother says that the place where they claimed to have found the bones was one of the areas she and those who helped her had already searched. She says, "We searched that place thoroughly, myself and the team of volunteers with me. This made me think that it's possible my daughter's bones were dumped there on purpose by someone a long time after we had finished our search. We searched and found nothing. How did the bones get there? Someone put the bones there intentionally. The distance between Jawaher's car, the spot where she allegedly got out, and the place where they found the bones was very long. It was impossible for someone to walk to that location. The distance was huge. The spot was on the other side of the mountain. Simply put, it doesn't make sense for someone to leave their car here and go all the way there on foot. It's impossible." She says, "In any case, I just wanted to bury her and honor her body, but the process was delayed for over a month because they found the head detached from the body." The mother explains that, from what she learned, the head does not detach from the body even in a skeletal state, except in 2 cases. Either the victim was strangled with such force that the neck bones separated from the body, or through decapitation. Whether before or after death, in both cases, it means there is a crime. And if there's a crime, there is a perpetrator. Someone who committed this act. About a month after the bones were discovered, they finally gave me permission to bury her. I insisted, despite the opposition of everyone around me, on washing and shrouding her myself. When the bag containing the bones reached us, the woman helping me and I were shocked to find that the bones were few. They didn't even make up 5% of a full skeleton. I pulled myself together and tried to arrange the bones as if she had died naturally. The bag that contained her belongings didn't have her medical glasses or the shoes she was wearing. When I asked about them, they told me, "This is all we found. Don't forget, there are animals on the mountain that might have eaten the rest of the body and scattered her things everywhere. This is all we recovered," she says. I was washing her, but inside me there was doubt. Is this truly my daughter? My darling, whom I brought into this world and who has spent all this long time with me? Is this truly my daughter, whose laughter I'm going to lose forever? I will never hear her laugh again, she says. I didn't know. I'm in doubt and will remain in doubt for the rest of my life. Only God knows. She continues, saying that after a long time, she was certain that the remains they brought to her, which she shrouded and buried, truly belonged to her daughter Jawaher. On 18th of November 2021, the coroner's office called me and told me they determined the cause of death. They simply wrote that the cause of death was unknown, and that's what they wrote on her death certificate. My daughter, she says, went out and disappeared, and they found her bones. All this, and they don't know how she died? They've shelved her case, and no one's pursuing it. Is this the justice in America? Is this the American dream? Is this the country of freedom that boasts with the Statue of Liberty? The simplest thing they should have done was track down the woman who rang Jawaher's mom, the one who told her she'd never see her daughter again. They didn't even think to track her down. Jawaher's case remains a mystery. The apparent lack of cooperation from investigators suggests potential involvement by organized crime networks, or perhaps even a cover-up within the police force itself. So, what really happened to Jawaher? A case until now has not been resolved. We wish justice for Jawaher and for every oppressed person. So, my friends, our story ends here for today. Don't forget to support us by subscribing to the channel and activating the notification bell so you receive all the updates. Thank you and goodbye.